Hello all. Now we are going to discuss about a topic life history strategies. Life history strategies are a set of physiological traits and also behavioral aspects which involves the competitive ability, preferred habitat, length of life characteristics of organism, their reproductive success, etc. These life history strategies have important implications in the growth of population and species and also the reproductive success of the organism. In this presentation, we are going to discuss about different life history strategies like semal parity, heteroparity, R selection, and K selection. First, we'll discuss about the semal parity. Semal parity is a particular type of life history strategies in which organism reproduces only once during their lifetime. The organisms differ in their timing of reproduction, the number of offsprings produced during each reproductive event, number of reproductive events in their lifetime, etc. So when it comes to the semelparous mode of strategy of reproduction, the organism reproduces only once during their lifetime, and during that time they produces a maximum offsprings, and usually after that they will dies off. So in semelparous organisms, they live more before the reproductive event, and suddenly after the event they dies off. Examples for the organisms undergo semelparous mode of reproduction or life strategy is agave plants, then salmons, bamboo grasses, some kind of insects, other invertebrates, etc. Salmons, when you take them as the examples, they are migrating fishes and they comes to a freshwater ecosystem for leaving all their eggs, and after that they suddenly dies off. Bamboo grasses are also like that. They live long before the reproductive event, but after suddenly the reproductive event, by laying their seeds, they will dies off. So such type of organisms are called as semelparous organisms, and they have very poor competitive ability, and usually they are seen in disturbed habitats. So what they do is that they produces maximum of their offsprings and dies off after that. And in semelparous organisms, they won't produce much parental care for their children or for their plants also. The seeds are providing it with maximum dispersion, but they are not protecting, and the plant is not protecting the seeds. In the case of animals, it's also like that. The offsprings are not protected by their parents. In the semelparity itself, there are different modes like that. Some of them which produces the seeds, like agave plants, say after producing the seeds they dies off, but there are certain perennial plants which produces only seed for once, and after that they long live also. So this is semelparous life strategy. Next we'll discuss about the heteroparous mode of reproduction. Heteroparity comes from the Latin word hetero, which meaning repeat, and pair means to bear. And for semelparous, it is in Latin once, and pair means to bear. So heteroparous organisms are those organisms which reproduces repeatedly during their lifetime. So they are not simply having one reproductive act, but during their lifetime they are undergoing different reproductive cycles, and in each reproductive cycle they produces a few number of offsprings. And it is not constant that they are going to produce the same number of offsprings, and all the species are producing at the same time like that. They differs in the number of offspring they produce during each reproductive event, and they usually reaches their reproductive age in an early condition, not in late age condition, but they reaches their reproductive maturity in their early time, and even after the reproduction they lives and they continues a mode of reproduction also. But the number of offsprings produced and their health, etc., it varies along the species. And when you come to this heteroparous mode of reproduction, there are certain examples such as oak tree, which is an example, very good example for heteroparity. Perennial plants like that, then vertebrate organisms, birds, mammals, etc. This heteroparity can be still divided into two, called as seasonal heteroparity and continuous heteroparity. Certain organisms like birds and mammals, they breeds only during particular season in an year. Such type of heteroparity is called as seasonal heteroparity, and their breeding cycle it repeats with every season. In continuous heteroparity, there is no such restriction that they should be in a particular season to undergo this reproductive event, but instead they reproduces in the along with the reproductive cycle, the physiological cycle, not depending upon the season in a annum. So that is called as continuous heteroparity. So seasonal heteroparity and continuous heteroparity are the two types of heteroparity, and the examples for the ones which are having the heteroparous mode of life strategy is the perennial plants such as trees, oak tree, then higher vertebrates, etc., are having heteroparous mode of reproduction. And heteroparous mode of reproduction, though they have multiple reproductive cycles, usually the number of offsprings produced will be low compared to that of the semelparous mode of reproduction. And since they live even after the reproductive event, here the parental care can be provided to their offsprings. Now, about this R selection, it is another life strategy. And for this heteroparous or semelparous mode of reproduction, it's not their choice, not the organism's choice to undergo this strategy, but instead they are actually controlled by the adaptive value or the nature. The nature decides whether the organism should undergo the heteroparous mode of reproduction or semelparous mode of reproduction, and the organism having very little control over it or does not have much control over that particular facts. Along with that, the same concept is repeated with the R selection and K selection. R selection is a term which was coined by MacArthur and Edward Wilson. These are two scientists. They divided the organisms into R selected species and K selected species based on their life strategy. R means per capita growth rate, which is denoted by the small letter R. And R selected species are those group of organisms which are having very high per capita growth rate, but they have poor competitive ability. Hence, they are called as R selected species. So, this R selected species, the best example can be taken as the beets. Beets are very good examples for R selected species. We know that the beets, they are very small, very weak plants which are having poor competitive ability, and usually these beets are seen in forest floors where the light is penetrating. We know that the forest canopy is very thick and the light penetration is very low, and during the year, throughout the year there won't be much light penetration, but there are only certain period of time they will be receiving this light at the forest floor, and during this time when it receives the light, these beets, they grows within very short period of time, their age, their reproductive maturity, and produces maximum numbers of seeds, disperses the maximum, and finally the parent plants will die off. And within that short duration of time when they receive this penetrated light, it passes 3 or more generations of this, and they make sure that at least one of them, since they produce more offsprings, they make sure that at least 1 or 2 of them will continue their species. So that is the concept with the R selected species. So they are living in a very disturbed habitat. So it's not possible for them to come up or confront all these challenges which is faced by the nature or which is provided by the nature. It is not, they are so weak, so they can confront all these challenges in a successful manner. So thing is that they are suddenly leaving in a very short span of time, they are dispersing maximum of these seeds and they suddenly dies off. And it's the responsibility of seeds to germinate by themselves and to grow before the light goes. So they are not providing much parental care to the species or their offsprings, and they provide much of their energy for producing maximum number of offsprings instead of taking care of themselves or maintaining their own health. So the bees are considered to be very weak because they are not taking care of themselves, because the energy that they are obtaining from the food is devoted maximum for the production of number of seeds. So this kind of selection is called as R selection, and such species are called as R selected species. Now this is a pictorial representation of the beets, dandelions which are growing in the forest floor. We can see that it is very small, it is producing maximum number of seeds, and the dispersal ability of the seeds is also very high so that it can go far. Then very short lifespan it is having, their growth is rapid, very minimum time it grows fast, it reaches their maturation or reproductive maturation, produces maximum number of seeds with a good dispersal ability, and finally they dies off. Now we'll come to the K selection. K selection is another strategy which can be compared with that of the R selected species. K selection, K stands for carrying capacity of a population. Carrying capacity of a population means the number of organisms, or with that much of resource, this particular ecosystem can hold this much number of organisms. So that is the concept of carrying capacity. And here the organisms that are depending on carrying capacity and living are called as K selected species. So K stands for, capital K stands for carrying capacity. So these organisms are called as K selected species because they are not living in much disturbed habitat. Their lifespan will be very long. They reaches their reproductive maturity very late in their lifetime, and they produces offsprings in a repeated manner, not a single act of reproduction, but multiple reproductive events will take place according to this cycle, and the number of offsprings produced during each reproductive event will be very low in comparing to that of the other ones. And since they are living even after the reproductive event, this case selected species can give good parental care to their offsprings. So even though number of offsprings are very low, the offsprings produced will be of high quality and having very much ability of having disease resistance and survival capacity. And when you come to these organisms also, they provides their energy not only for rearing their or producing their offspring, but they can also take care of their own their health and their own maintenance, etc. So they does not devote all their energy for the offsprings. They are providing time for them also, providing energy for them, nutrients for them, but still they are taking care of themselves and maintaining them. So it improves the quality. Even their number is very low, it improves very much their quality of living and their survival capacity. Such species are called as case selected species. So case selected species, we have an example which is an oak tree. Oak tree is producing only very less number of acorns there, and when the seeds are produced, only few numbers of seeds during a period of 1 year, and these seeds will be of very high quality. The acorns of the oak seeds are very healthy because all the nutrients which is required for the seed to develop is present in this acorn. So even after the laying of the seeds, dropping of the seeds, it takes up all the nutrients and it grows slowly. It reaches maturation age slowly, and finally it reproduces with very high quality offsprings. So that is an example for case selected species. And also there are other organisms such as primates, apes, etc., which are also produces by a case selected mode. It also follows a case selected mode in which they have reproductive cycle which is repeated. They produces few offsprings, but these offsprings are taken very good parent care and they are growing into high quality individuals. So that is case selection. Now this is a pictorial representation of case selected species. You can see the oak tree here and the acorn of the oak tree inside which the seed is found. The size of the tree is very big. It takes very long time for its complete growth. Its lifespan is very high and it reaches maturation age very late, and produced seeds and the number of offspring produced here is very low, but they will be of very high quality. They have poor seed dispersal. Most of the seeds it lays below the tree itself, so it is having not much dispersal ability. Now, as a summary of all these concepts, you're comparing the R and selection, semelparous and nitroparous mode. This R selection, case selection, semelparous and nitroparous mode can be come in a combined condition, that it is not necessary that if an organism is having R selection, then they are always throughout their life cycle they are having this R selection only or nitroparous mode only, but sometimes they can switch over to the other modes also. So R and case selection can be considered to be an useful examples for studying the life strategies of organisms. So when you come to these weeds, agave plants and all, they clearly follows this semelparous mode and R selection. And when you come to birds, mammals, etc., they follows this heteroparous mode and case selection, like that. So they comes in combinations also. And again, one important thing is that the organisms itself are not choosing their strategy, but it is actually depending upon their adaptive value, and the nature decides for them what strategy they should adopt and live in. So there is a scientist called Eric Pianka who observed the different life history strategies and made a comparison of all these. Now you can see a comparison table in here. The first life history feature is the intrinsic rate of increase. That means the maximum rate of growth of organisms. For our selected species, we said that large number of offsprings are produced. That means their rate is also high. They're having rapid growth. But when you come to case selected species, they are having very low rate of growth. It takes very much time for their growth. The second aspect is development. They have rapid development. Our selected species are having rapid development, and the case selected are slow developing ones. Reproductive rate is very high. That means large number of offsprings are produced even in a single reproductive act. But in case selected species, their reproductive rate is very low. That means 1 or 2 individuals are produced at a single reproductive event. The body size of our selected species is small because they can't grow much with this disturbed habitat, hence the size will be small, and the case selected species, their size is very large, they grows up to very big sizes. Length of life for our selected species is short, and length of life of case selected species is long. The competitive ability is very weak since they are not having much quality, not receiving much parental care and not nutrients. They are having very low competitive ability, but case selected species are reared with much care, nutrients, etc. Hence, they are very strong individuals. Survivorship of our selected species is very low. They have very high mortality rate, especially the young children or the young seeds. They die so quickly because the parent plants, after leaving their seeds or the offsprings, they suddenly dies off. Hence, there are no one to take care of their offspring. So till they comes out, hatches out of the egg, etc. And during this reason, they can be predated by the predators or other water flows. If it is laying eggs in an aquatic system, then by strong currents can destroy them, etc. So their fate totally depends upon the nature, and it is not sure that every individual is going and growing into a big individual or big reproduct. They are going to reach a maturation age, etc. So they have high mortality for the young. But when you come to case selected species, the young was taken, young ones are taken up much care. With much care, the parents are taking care, and due to this reason, they have very low mortality rate. The population size is variable for the R selected species, and for case selected species, they are fairly constant since they are depending upon the carrying capacity of the nature. They have fairly constant numbers of their population. Dispersal ability is very good for our selected species because they are taking chance. If the dispersal is not properly happening, then if the seeds are laid at the point where they are laid, then what happens is that if something destroys them, all the seeds will be destroyed. And due to this reason, they disperses to very large areas or to extensive areas for confirming that some of the individuals are growing up into young adult ones. And the case selected species, they have poor dispersal ability. They always used to stick onto a particular habitat or their parents. In habitat type, our selected species are living in a disturbed habitat type, and in case selected species, they are living in a constant or comfortable environment and habitat. Examples for our selected species are BD plants, small fishes, insects, and bacteria. And the case selected species are canopy trees, large mammals, some parrots, large turtles, etc. These are some examples for case selected species. Now, these are the comparison for R selection, case selection, semal parity, and heteroparity. Okay, that's all about the topic. Thank you.